Good evening. This is the Elliott wave update for the NASDAQ 100 for Sunday, January the 9th, 2022. The NASDAQ did open lower, and Globex, the initial opening high occurred very quickly after the opening and found a buyer, boom, raced up to the high, maybe sat there for maybe 2 or 3 seconds before the market actually turned around by the completion of that first minute, the market was lower, the NASDAQ was lower, and it has continued to work its way lower. But right now, it's sitting pretty much around 15,557, 58, 55, up in there, and going as high as closer maybe to 60. As we await now for the Asian markets and then the European markets to open and contribute what's going on in their end of the world. So what I want to do a quick review of is that the NASDAQ continues to follow through on an intermediate fourth wave correction. And what we've seen here is here's the top of intermediate wave 3. That is the all-time high, 16,768. And within this intermediate fourth wave, we have completed minor waves A and B and sit in the concluding C wave, which for Elliotticians, all C waves are going to be 5 waves. And so thus far within the C wave, we are able to count 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we are within that 5th wave down. And that 5th wave down has broken the low of the 3rd wave. And so all of this is just add-on, but it's forming the 5th wave down. And that's a minute 5th to complete the minor wave C, which in turn then completes that intermediate fourth wave. So just a quick note before I get into where this could complete. The expectation upon the completion of the 4th wave down of an intermediate degree is that the intermediate 5th wave advance begins. Okay, and that should be quick, convincing, no turning back. It's like putting in a technical point of this is the low and we're turning, and it's almost as if everybody was ready for it, and this is all just going to go according to plan. That's what I'm talking about. The switch should be fast, should be quick, but to the upside. No more holding around. It's like doing a quick 100-point rally. That's the kind of liftoff that I would be looking for to announce the completion of wave 4 and the start of wave 5. So how are we going to get there? Well, first, as I said, we got to complete wave 5. Now I'm going to jump back to the hourly chart and pull that. Actually, let's just stay here. I'm on that 4-hour. So we can see, here's our support levels. We have first the outside, which is also for the C wave. And then I have these on the inside is for wave 5. So now I'm going to be double checking to see where wave 5 overlaps with wave C. So I'm looking for the completion point of both. So the first level is going to be right here at 15,414 down to 15,386. That's the zone. So it's approximately, you got 14 waves up. It's a 28 points. That's a 28-point zone that it could bottom in. But the next, should sail through that, the next comes in at 15,311 down to 15,300. And an extreme little push could push us down to 15,216-ish, to 15,216. That, I think, has just as much potential. The probability here is also strong because that's where we have double overlap. But if it got down to this 618, it could drift real quick, and it would still fit perfectly within an intermediate fourth wave. The point to make also, no matter where this bottoms, if the bottoms 15,414 down to 400, a little bit below, great. If it does within at 15,311 down to 300, or if it drops real quick down to 215, the resulting turn should be the same, of the same intensity. The starting point is where we need to keep our focus on and just our realization. And again, it's going to be the mindset. You've got to get your mindset in gear that we're just tracking down the finishing stages of a decline. So these sell orders should dry up for right now. And on a technical basis, if this is the low that I think it could be on the degree level, which is intermediate 4, then it's an intermediate 5th. It should be, boom, we're off to the races and we're just going to go. We've seen these types of moves before, right off of a low. And let me just go back out to that daily chart and see if I can't find one so that I can put some wraparound on this. This would be one. We made that low, we went down, we gave it a look the day after, but boom, and then bam. So the initial follow-up is double intent. Same here. Came down, made that low, the next, and closed up. So in other words, put in this bottoming tail. So that happened, and then it rallied all the way back up. And the next day they tried a couple of sell orders, did not work, and it just rallied. That's the type of low that I'm looking for if we get down there again. And you can see with that one, took the market up quite a bit. But the initial move, 605 to 987. Pretty big move that day. It was a 300-point rally. So maybe the first one, we'll see. But that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'd be looking for. But it has to, do it from one of those levels. It doesn't make any difference in my mind which level it chooses as the low. That I can't tell. I don't know how much people have to sell or what's going to produce them to move in and do it. We just have the allowances for it. But I know what I'm looking for to give me the signal to change my mindset. Selling is over, buyers are back. So again, we're not considering the who, what, where, when, or why the market is doing what it's doing. We're looking for the market to tell us. And the only way that's going to happen is that the type of a blast that would come after hitting that low is going to be the same no matter what the level is. So we have our zones where we possibly think it could come to, but we also now have the ticket to give us the clue of, oh, that's going to be a good low. And, a solid, it should not be challenged because the market's going to move away from it very, very quickly. And what's going to continue to do that is shorts, and shorts are going to be covering. Everything will turn. And that's what I'd be looking for. Now, just to add one final layer on top of all of this, if that level is broken, and again, you can see where again, then our next overlap comes in. Our next overlap comes in at 14,932 to 14,000. Let me see if I can get this open so I can read these numbers a little bit better. Well, that works sort of. Then, oh, come on. The next overlap is going to be, and I can't, I'll read it, but that's making it sloppy. Sorry about this. Down at 14,400, I think it was. I apologize for this mess that I've just created. Let's see if we can't do it here. There we go. That's 618. No, we're going to go down further. It could be our next overlap is 930 down to 14,008 or 900. So let's say 14,930 to 14,900. Then it breaks very quickly, and we don't get the next one until 14,595 to 14,560. That changes this larger picture, but it is possible on an intermediate degree for it to get down there. So again, it allows for that heavy of selling. I'm not initially expecting that. But if we get these breaks that I just described, if it comes down here and breaks below 15,300 like purpose and get out of the way, and then breaks below that 278 level, or 215, excuse me, just breaks it, and acceleration picks up, well, recognize that the market is telling you. You might stand aside just to kind of say, well, you're not going to get long, you're not getting short. You want to see what is happening, because likely the next move will be down. But the market's going to tell. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I am not expecting a major punch in the face tomorrow. I think if the market drops from current levels down to 300, that's a pretty sizable rally. Decline. That's a 200-point decline. from current levels, 200-point plus. Then rally. So I'm looking for that. Now, also, we can put on the correct mindset if it breaks those levels, because you have to continue to trade. So block out the noise. The market's telling you I'm not bottoming yet. Doesn't mean it won't happen. It's just not happening yet. So you can play that next level. You've got continued levels coming off. Trade them. All right, leaving it there. Our next update will be on Monday, January the 10th.